Welcome to Healthy LRC. Learn, relax, cook. Today I'm going to show you how to make a kind of curry chicken with vegetables. We're going to use some leftover S&B golden curry that we had in our package. We have 2 squares left in our package here, and I'm going to dissolve it into water right now that we're going to use for the chicken and the vegetables. So I'll put it into my bowl, and I boiled some water just a little bit ago that I'm going to add to the mix here, and I'm going to spend some time just stirring it around to dissolve these blocks. Okay, after a lot of stirring, we finally got most of the curry dissolved into the water. So I'm going to set this aside for now, and I'm going to start working with the vegetables, getting them peeled and chopped. So today we're going to put in, we have a number of just regular white or yellow potatoes. We also have some carrots that we're going to add to this, sweet potato, 1 onion, and also we have a couple cloves of garlic as well that we'll chop up and add. And a secret ingredient, which you'll see later as the process goes. So, just gonna get these peeled. Cut.
Drop the fork.
Okay. I'll just do a few more. There's a couple of weird bits in this one, so I'm just gonna dig them out. So I like a lot of potatoes in my curry type dishes, so that's why I have so many potatoes going in today. But you can use as many as you'd like. If you get these weird spots in your potatoes, you might have to cut them out, which is what I think I'm going to do for that one right there. But otherwise, just keep peeling off the skins. If you like skins, you could leave them on. But in that case, I'd say make sure to give them a good scrubbing with water in your sink first. That way you get all the dirt out and whatever else might be on those skins. I go back and forth sometimes on that, but generally in my curries, I like to take all the skins off. Okay, last potato. Okay, now I did want to get that little spot out of the larger one. So I'll get my knife here and find that spot. I'm just gonna make a cut. Okay, so that takes it out. We lose a bit of potato, but it's much nicer to work with there. All right, so now we got some carrots. I'm gonna just take the ends off real quick. Careful when chopping, as always. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and peel these guys. One more carrot to go. Okay, so now we got our carrots ready. Last thing I have to peel, besides the garlic, which I'll do with the knife, is the sweet potato. Okay, so now we get all the large vegetables peeled. I do want to cut the ends off of this sweet potato while I'm at it. And I'm going to go ahead and get this onion chopped as well. So I'll start at the ends. And I'm going to make fairly big cuts on all these vegetables because we are going to bake them with the chicken. So I'm not going to do too much to this onion, but I am going to make sure the skin comes off. So just peel off those layers. And then underneath, I'm only going to probably cut this maybe into thirds. Because I want to have fairly big pieces, so you can see they're just in thirds like that. This one I'll do into fourths because it's a little bit bigger. So now we have 4 slices. So for the rest of the vegetables, I'm going to get these chopped up also into fairly good sized pieces. So see, about that size. I'm going to cut this into halves as well. So that's the ending size we're going to stick into the oven. Okay, so there's our onion and our sweet potato. Now we just have carrots and regular potatoes to deal with here. I'll just do these one at a time. Just going to do a little bit of a rolling cut on these. So I'm cutting at an angle. I'm just slightly turning the carrot as I go. Makes for kind of an interesting shape. I like it. I'll just do the same for each of these. Okay, and then the last thing I want is the regular potatoes. So again, I'm going to slice these into fairly large size pieces. So halve and halve and halve again. If you do see more black spots on these, you can go ahead and just chop those bits off and just throw them with your scraps. So I'm ending up with about this size. I'm trying to keep it in line with the other potato sizes as well. And we'll just keep doing that with the rest of the potatoes. All right, so I got all my potatoes chopped. Everything's chopped except for, at this point, the garlic. So, make a little bit of room on my cutting board here. Get the skins off. And I like to get the hard bits off at the end too, so those don't mix in with the rest. I'm only going to chop these in half, just because they're so small. So there won't be too many of them in this dish today, at least for me. You can always add some more if you'd like. So now we've got all our vegetables all in one place, kind of ready to go. The next step for us, we're going to put all of these into a gallon Ziploc. So I have one right over here. Here's our gallon Ziploc. I'm just going to start loading them in. And once they're all inside, we're going to add in our curry mix that we just mixed with water earlier. And we're going to let everything marinate. We're only going to let it marinate for about a half an hour tonight. But you can let it marinate overnight if you'd like for a stronger flavor. So now you can see our bag's all full of vegetables, and we're ready to fill it with the curry mix. So here's our curry mix that we had earlier. Just going to give it a final stir, make sure everything is mixed into that water well. And I'm only going to pour about half of this mixture in with the vegetables. Just be careful, you don't want to spill it everywhere. Okay. So it's about half. You'll see it just coating the bottom of the bag right now. So I'm going to close this up. And I'm just going to mix it around so that all the vegetables get coated as evenly as possible with the curry mixture. All right, so now we got all our vegetables and they're ready to wait. We're going to just stick them in the fridge for half an hour so they can marinate. And while we have those going in the fridge, we're going to get going with the chicken, and we're going to do almost the same thing. We're going to take the chicken, put it into a bag like this, add our curry mixture, and marinate that as well for about a half an hour. All right, so I have some just chicken tenderloins that I got at the store, and I'm gonna get these unwrapped, and we're gonna actually switch cutting boards for this. I have one just for meat. That I use, and so I'm not worried about the knife at this point because I was only cutting vegetables before, so that's fine. But if I was going to cut something else, I'd have to wash that knife. But for now, we're good. We're going to do a little bit of prep work on this chicken just to get off some of the little, I guess they're tendons bits that I'm not a super big fan of. But if they don't bother you, leave them in, and the process becomes a lot simpler for you. And it's not a big deal, but we're not huge fans of those little bits. All right, so now we have our meat. It's prepped and ready to get put into our gallon Ziploc. And then we're going to add the curry mix to it. So, got our Ziploc. We're just going to put the meat right into the bag. Just like that, no big deal. And then the last step here is to pour in the rest of our curry mix, which seems to have gotten just a little bit thicker at the bottom there. So I'm just trying to swirl it around. All right, so now let's get rid of the pour. So again, we're just gonna pour it right in. And you'll see all that curry mix got right in there. So again, I'll seal up this bag, and we're going to try and get that curry mixed all over the chicken as evenly as possible, just like we did with the vegetables. All right, so we're going to stick that in the fridge for about half an hour as well. Again, you can leave that in overnight if you wanted to for a stronger flavor, but I think half an hour will do just fine for us tonight. So after half an hour, we'll come back and we're going to put this whole mix into the oven. Okay. It's been about 30 minutes, so I took out the vegetables and the chicken as well. We're going to put these vegetables into a large glass baking pan. I have one right here. It's a nice blue Pyrex that I have. And we're just going to put them right into the bottom of the pan. And we'll just spread them all around. So they're pretty evenly there on the pan. So next step is the oven. I preheated the oven to around 325 degrees. We're going to kind of slow roast these for probably about 20 minutes. And then we're going to put the chicken in alongside them. That way the roasted vegetables will be just about fully cooked, and the chicken will cook pretty fast once it gets in there. All right, I have another glass baking dish. This one's for the chicken. So I'm gonna get my chicken, just gonna pour it right in, just like we did with the vegetables. Right into the bottom there. And I am gonna arrange these a little bit so they're evenly in the pan as much as possible. Okay, so after about, like I said, 20 minutes with those vegetables in the oven, we're going to pop these chicken right in there, and then we'll bake them for about another 15 minutes. And hopefully at that point, everything will be fully cooked and delicious. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes, so I took the vegetables out of the oven, and I just want to check to see if they're getting close to being done. So I'm just going to poke them with a fork and test a few of them. Yeah, those are not anywhere close to being done. So I'm going to give them actually another 20 minutes in the oven still before I put that chicken in. So back in the oven for these. 20 minutes later, we'll check them again. If they're ready to go, then I'll put the chicken in. But for now, I'll just give them a quick stir with a spatula just to make sure that all the sides are getting even open air oven time. And I'll just make sure they're back in a nice single layer in the pan. Okay, it's been another 20 minutes and the vegetables are pretty much fork tender at this point, except for the carrots. Looks like the carrots are a little bit tough still, but the potatoes are working just fine. So at this point, we're going to put the veggies back in and we're going to put the chicken in as well. And we'll give it about 15 minutes. I think that should be enough time to cook the chicken. But we'll check it after that and see how it's doing. Okay, so we put the vegetables in for the last 15 minutes, and I poked around, and it seems like things are a little bit better. The carrots still have a little bit of bite, but just enough, I think, that they'll be quite good. So veggies are done. Let's check out the chicken and see how that's doing. Okay, so we've taken the chicken out of the oven, and it looks really good, but I just want to make sure that it's fully cooked. So I have just a little temperature probe here. We're going to make sure that it reached 165 internal. So I'm going to just push into one of these chicken tenderloins right into the middle of it without touching the bottom of the pan to see if we're hitting the right temps. It looks like we did reach the internal temperature, 165, according to the meat thermometer, but I am just going to cut into one of these as well, just to check to see if we are fully cooked. And you can see it's all white in there. Looks good, nice and juicy still. So we're good. We're ready to plate it up and give it a try. So now you can see we've plated up the vegetables and the chicken. And the last ingredient that I mentioned before, we're going to put some cilantro onto this dish just to give it a little bit of a fresh taste. So I just chopped up some cilantro real quick, and I'm just going to slightly place it on top of the meal. So I've plated up the food, and I I've been digging in off screen, but I wanted to let you know how it tasted. So this chicken, it turned out really moist. It was quite good, with a little bit of spiciness from the curry, a little bit of heat, which is quite nice. The carrots, they do have a little bit of bite, just a slight bit of bite, which actually brings a nice variety to the textures as you're eating. The sweet potatoes, a little bit of sweetness, but also a savory taste, which is quite delicious. I really think you're going to enjoy this dish if you choose to make it. So, thanks for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you get a chance to try this recipe, and please subscribe to the Healthy LRC Learn, Relax, Cook channel for more videos about cooking, relaxation, and learning. Thanks, and have a good one.